we're probably going to have some other people pop on, but I'm so glad that you could come out with us, Luisa. We've known each other. I think we've known each other since like 2016, at the end of 2016. The At that time, you were focused on trying to win the humorous speech contest. Can you tell us, how what you were? I think you made the run at that a couple times, and then there was they stopped it, and then you focused on the international speech contest. Just tell us about how it's different, what you were doing to prepare for that, and then how that might have helped you. That trying to work on the humor might have helped you in 2019, and then again this year.
Well, thank you, Ruben. Again, thank you for having me. A little under the weather here, but my goal originally, yes, was to win the humorous contest with Toastmasters International, and their humorous contest used to go all the way up to regional. I had participated in that back in 1990, 92, 91, and I went all the way to regional and placed second there. And that was my first time ever entering a contest. So I wanted to do that again. However, this time they only went up to the district level. And I finally made first place at the district level. This was probably 2015. So someone told me, well, you've already won district. Now maybe you should try to go international. And I didn't know what the international speech contest was all about. Once I found out, I started gearing my speeches toward that. Instead of being humorous, these were supposed to be inspiring or motivational. So it was kind of a big turn for me. But I realized that I could also inject humor when I felt necessary, just to be able to keep, for me, in my mind, the speech interesting and entertaining. 2019, when I made it to the finals, the night before, which I shouldn't even admit this, the night before, well, I already had a prepared speech. You're supposed to show up to the contest with 2 speeches. I showed up with the 2 speeches. The speech I had, my best speech, you use it at semifinals just to propel you into the finals. And then for the finals, you also give another speech to try to win first place. After I met everybody there at the conference, so friendly, so nice, and they were all telling me just how much they liked my speech, and they were just all rather jovial about the whole situation. And the speech I had ready to give for my finals was a little bit of a downer. So the night before, I took my humorous speech from 2015, used the body of that, and I rewrote the beginning and the ending. And then I used that for my speech in 2019, and that landed me second place in the world, which once I saw that humor was going to be allowed or accepted into the meaning of the speech, it works for me.
Okay. When so you were first runner up in 2019, and you do your philanthropic cause is rescuing these dogs, and you transport them to northern states, and they get happy homes and all that. And Natalie, my wife had passed away from cancer, and I got on the way up to take her ashes to her family. I stopped into Virginia Beach, and my car broke down, and I had to get helped to get it fixed from the SEAL Legacy Foundation. And then they told me about they had this program called Virginia High Performance, and they flew me from Houston to Virginia Beach. Uh, they got me a rent a car for a month. I got a hotel in Virginia Beach for a month. They had a trainer twice a day. They had fed me healthy food. I had a chiropractor, a massage therapist, a cryogenic uh, float tank session twice a week, and a um, a cognitive speech therapist. And you were telling me that you were going to be going to the East Coast, and then I got a call from Phyllis, told me you were in an accident, and you were in a hospital in Maryland, and she gave me the hospital, and I was the first one to come and see you, and you literally looked like somebody that got hit by a truck, right? I mean, you, I mean, it was remarkable that you're here with us today, and it was your legs were broken, tibia and fibia, and you had these erector things looking on your leg. You were in traction. You had a respirator on. You had a tube up your nose. You were in and out. Um, I told all the nurses, about you, and I showed them your speech from winning the contest. So I only got to spend like the afternoon with you before I had to go back down to Virginia Beach. But can you talk a little bit about um, that, pulling yourself out of that? I mean, you were there like for like 4 months or something like that, between the rehab and then the hospital stay, and then getting yourself uh, to the point that you are now. Just, can you go through that process? I mean, give us a little backstory on on what was going on with you during that time.
So the accident happened because my co-driver and I were transporting homeless dogs from South Texas to New Jersey, and we had just dropped off 88 homeless shelter dogs to a dog rescue in New Jersey. And on the way back was when the accident happened. I was asleep in the passenger seat while my co-driver was driving. We were involved with two 18-wheelers, which luckily for me, by the grace of God, there was a gentleman 4 cars behind the accident who was an EMT specialist. And Hector Petrelli is his name. He pulled over immediately and was able to tourniquet both my legs just so I wouldn't bleed out. And he was probably basically the reason I'm here today. The accident was something that has forced me to realize that I cannot always be in control, which I absolutely love. And I'm meeting so many people that I'm realizing that is probably our number one hangup, is we feel we need to be in control of everything. And when you are, like you said, laying in a hospital bed for a month with my legs up in straps and weights and pins and rods, and you can't do anything, not a thing. You can't even feed yourself. You realize you're not in control as much as you would like to be. So that has helped me in that aspect, realizing I'm not always going to be in control. And when you are a person that has to be in control all the time, and then you're not able to be in control, it turns your world upside down. So that helped me program myself to say it's okay to not be in control for a little bit, and just learning to be able to adapt to that. The other thing that really helped me was documenting with pictures and videos my journey, because I went from not being able to do anything, and then I remember it was a big to do when I was able to take a flat board, and put it on my hospital bed to my wheelchair, and slide myself down that board to my wheelchair. That to me was, wow, look at me. I can get into my wheelchair by myself instead of needing the big crane they use, and they put me in and they would pick me up out of bed and then drop me into the wheelchair. So I thought, wow, that's progress. And I was excited about that. Then when I returned home 3.5 months later, I remember taking a video of me going from my wheelchair to the driver's seat of my car. And that I can just see myself and all the effort I'm having to put into doing that. And now I can almost jump into the car by myself. So it's the slow moments of progress that I see, and I tell myself, okay, this is going to be okay. It's a little setback. I think the most frustrating thing for me out of the whole situation is I'm used to doing 10 things in 5 minutes. And now it was taking me 20 minutes to do one thing. And so I've had to learn to be patient with myself. I've had to figure out how to do things differently. And now I used to be able to run out of the house and say, oh, I forgot this. And I would come back and get what I needed and then take off again. Well, when you can't walk and it takes you 5 times the time to do something, now I sit there, okay, so I have everything, because I don't want to spend another 5 minutes coming back and getting what I need. So it's making me prepare myself for things better than when I could walk. And that might sound crazy and odd, but you don't realize what you have until you don't have it. You don't know what you got till it's gone. There you go, Joan Baez. But that's basically what the accident has allowed me to see. It's allowed me to grow. I thought it would take 3 months. It's been 2.5 years. So it's been a slow progress, but I'm here for it. What else? What other choice do I have?
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a good way of looking at it. Now, uh, you did it though. You this your ability to manifest your goal is like I've never. I can't say not. They've never seen it like because here I had that experience setting the goal to go back to SEAL training, have my first fight with become a Navy SEAL, have my first fight with the Navy box team, have $10,000 in the bank, and you know, I did all those. That they all happened, right? They all just it happened, and um, the now that you've done this, okay, you've manifested this. You came like this close in 2019, and then you did it. You know, how many people have been able to do that? And that you've done that. So there's kind of a two-part question, right? Now that you know that you can manifest things, but now you are the spokesperson for Toastmasters International this year. That you are your pedigree of being the Toastmasters International speech champion, all right, gives you that credibility with you, what you want to talk about. What can you see yourself doing with that, and what do you want to do with that?
Great question. What do I see myself wanting to do with that? First of all, unlike most people, I have no fear of public speaking. So to be able to excel in this has been a dream of mine. It's actually an item that I now can scratch off the bucket list. But the manifestation part, when you said that, Ruben, I didn't really know much about that. And then starting to watch TikTok, once you hit on manifestation or you type that in, the algorithm picks that up. And then all of a sudden, all the videos you start receiving are about manifestation. And I watched them and I realized that a lot of them had the same thing in common. when it comes to manifesting. Some say write it down, some say put it on a piece of paper, put it somewhere where the full moon can hit it. Some of them were a little odd, but I wound up realizing that the heart of manifestation is telling yourself what it is you want to happen, and not only telling yourself what you want, but then visualizing you actually achieving it. So that's the next step. So I would wake up in the morning and I had about 5 things on my list. One of them is, wow, Luisa, look at you. You're really walking, and you're walking well. That racquetball game is around the corner. That's it. Number 2 was health for my mom, and for me, allowing me to have more time with her than what I thought we were going to, and that happened. Also, winning first place for the Toastmaster International Speech Contest, and I went to the extreme of visualizing myself walking to accept the award, even though at the time I was manifesting this, I couldn't even get out of my wheelchair. But I told myself, you will walk to receive your trophy. I know I'm going to do that. And I could visually see myself walking towards it. And that's exactly what I did. Even though I had my wheelchair there, I took about 35 steps with the assistance of 2 other Toastmasters. I climbed up the 4 steps, and the gentleman that had my wheelchair offered it to me, and I said, no, I've got this. Only because my visualization, what I saw, what I manifested was about to come true. And so I took about 5 steps on my own to receive the trophy. And that right there just blew my mind. I said, okay, so maybe there's something to this manifestation thing to be able to see this. It is still surreal for me. Manifesting now, I'm taking it a lot more serious. What would I like to do with my accomplishment with Toastmasters? I believe it will allow me a bigger platform, because the second thing on my bucket list is to be able to implement a free spay and neuter clinic down here in South Texas, where we euthanize over 100 dogs a day, not because they're sick, but because we don't have anywhere to put them. People here don't spay and neuter for whatever reason. So there's 3 parts to the program that I want to do, other than spaying and neutering for free, so people will bring their dogs and cats in to get that done. 2 is educating, hitting all the high schools to be able to show them how to properly take care of animals and pets. Tethering is not acceptable. Caging up is not acceptable. Outdoor 24 hours a day, things like that, not acceptable. And the third thing is, being that a lot of these people that have one dog, and then the one dog gets loose and then goes and gets pregnant and comes back. So now we've got 1 dog plus 10 puppies. It's being able to go out into the impoverished areas, the colonias here in South Texas, with a mobile unit to be able to start spaying and neutering to eradicate the whole overpopulation that we have here. That's my goal.
Okay. So, this is My Business is Your Business podcast. And I was telling you, we talk a lot about this synchronistic business strategy. You have a business that's successful, but you can partner with businesses that may supply services or products to your primary business, or businesses that overlap and work together. With what you do and what because you got way more business savvy than people realize. I just know from talking to you as much as I have. Can you see? I mean, a lot of these people that have won the contest or come, runner up, that they're doing, speaking coaches, things like that. But I think you can expand a little further. I think you have a lot of tools in your belt. How can you see this? I mean, this just basically just give you uh, a presence, authority to do some things that you probably couldn't do otherwise. Can you see how there's any possibilities of either working with other businesses or and getting paid for it,
right?
and or creating opportunity for yourself now that you've achieved that this level, this you hit this goal, this accomplishment.
Right. Actually, that's 100% correct. I will be able to use the platform of Toastmasters International, the ability for me to now be able to do speaking engagements and be able to have whatever income comes in with that. I'll be able to go ahead and use that to fund the spay and neuter program. I've got 3/4 of everything already put together. The only thing I lack is veterinarians. I would ideally like to have 5 veterinarians to where over a 2-day period, each veterinarian would be able to spay and neuter 100 dogs. That would give us 500 dogs spayed and neutered within the limit of the 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, Sunday, Monday, within the span of 2 days. So with that, being able to now start approaching the speaking area of a business, being able to do that, I believe that would be able to help fund my spay and neuter program. I would love to launch that as soon as possible, just because I've got the equipment already for the spay and neuter. I've got an area where we can hold the event. So all I'm lacking now is funding for the veterinarians to be able to pay them, and then funding for all the supplies we will need for the spay and neuter.
That's just amazing I mean, you are hard set on that cause. I mean, you are
Yes.
like that is like forefront of that's your purpose. You can definitely tell that. What was it that put you in this path?
Great question. This is probably the best thing that I'll talk about. When I retired 13 years ago, for the first year, I really didn't do anything. I would sleep as late as I wanted to. I would get up when I wanted to. I would do whatever I wanted to. And it was so liberating after working 80 hours a week. That's what I was used to. 6 days a week, sometimes 7 if there was a different project going on at work. So to be able to just shut down and not think of anything was great. Back then, as is now, Facebook was the thing. And I remember getting on Facebook and I saw a post from a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of mine. And the post had a picture of a dog and 6 puppies. And the post was, can anybody foster this mom and 6 puppies for a month so they don't get euthanized? If we find a foster, a rescue will take them up in New York. And I thought, I can do that. I think I had 2 dogs at the time. I said, that's not a problem. If need be, I'll quarantine the mother and her pups in one of my bedrooms. I've got a big backyard. She's safe here. So that's what I did. And once I did that, the lady from the rescue that actually decided to take her after I had fostered said, so how often do you do this? I said, this was my first time. I wound up volunteering for her for 3 to 4 years. And if you saw the atrocities that I saw, you'd be on board with this program, because what I wound up realizing is every other Monday when I would go to the local shelter, I had to play God, because the dogs that were in these kennels, and there were 30 kennels, and each kennel held anywhere from 1 dog to 5 dogs. I would go and choose which kennel we could take, depending on the size of the dog, not the breed, but the size of the dog. where I would be taking them. We only had capacity for certain amounts of dogs. So I would usually pick up about 30 dogs from the shelter every other Monday. And knowing that after we got to 30, the count of 30, and there being 60 dogs there, knowing that 30 dogs were going to die because nobody was going to come and rescue them, I asked myself, I told myself, this isn't the answer. Me pulling 30 dogs every other Monday is not the answer. Why do we have so many dogs? Unclaimed, uncared for. Why? Because people don't spay and neuter. So I don't want to be going to the shelter every other week and then coming home thinking of the 30 dogs that didn't make it. I want to get them away from the shelter as far as possible. And the only thing I can see that would eradicate that would be spaying and neutering. So great question.
Wow. Yeah, because it's like, I mean, there's there's a lot of dogs, and I'm happy that Luis is helping them out. You know, I mean, it just that is your total focus, and it's, you know, I put I promoted you to Delta Rescue. I sent him your speech. I sent him your speech.
Give me just a minute, Ruben. Okay, give me just a minute.
All right.
I'm sorry you took me down memory lane, and that was kind of hard.
Sorry about that. I apologize.
No,
Yeah.
no. Don't be sorry about it. This will just fuel me to do better quicker. That's all. That's all. That's why that was a great question.
Well, you are a catalyst now because of what you did, because of what you manifested. You are a power. You are a force for this cause. Anything you wanted to put it to, anything you wanted to put the focus on, uh, you would, you are so much more effective now because of what you did, and you have this is your cause. So, like I said, I sent Delta Rescue your speech.
Thank you so much.
You might get a call from them. I give them your number and
awesome
and your
awesome.
email, so you may be getting contacted by Delta Rescue. Okay.
Thank you.
You might
Thank
get
you.
you might get an interview with Bill O'Reilly. You never know, right?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
All right. All right. Enrique, I guess this is your AI. Okay, so Enrique, he's from Toastmasters. He has an AI service that is dictating this interview, right? But I recorded it. I'll post it up on YouTube, and I'll be sending it out to the Toastmasters Club. But I'm so glad that you came on with me. I know your life's gonna get crazy. You're not gonna have time for Ruben. you know, the I was so concerned when you were in Maryland because you were by yourself, and I was calling you all the time. But you were always so positive. You was not like you were like so excited, because of the progress that you were making, and then you told me about the guy that you talked about in the speech. You told me about meeting him, and you weren't real a fitness buff before the accident. Now has that changed at all?
Uh, Actually, quite the opposite now. Being harnessed down to a wheelchair, being contained. I wasn't fit in any means, by any means, but because I was so active, it actually helped me kind of stay out of the obese range. But being in a wheelchair for almost 2 years, I kept consuming the same way I always had, and I put on a good 25 pounds, quick and easy. The insurance companies started battling with each other. One insurance company wasn't going to pay for therapy, then the other insurance company wasn't either. So a friend of mine said, why don't you just, for $40 a month, join a gym and find one with a pool and do your therapy and start working out and do your own thing. And that's exactly what I did. And sometimes I was going more than 3 times a week, which my therapy was only 3 times a week. But going to the gym and seeing the progress just fueled me to go more. I took a little break once the competition, the speech contest started getting nearer, but I'm so ready to go back. I've dropped 24 pounds, so I'm almost to the weight I was right before the accident. And I'm excited to try and lose at least another 20 just to feel good. I mean, I feel great now, but I know once I'm able to start walking, it's going to make a huge difference. So I am very grateful that the 2 insurance companies decided they weren't going to do anything about it, because if not, I would probably still be going to physical therapy and doing the minimal, to where now it's fueled by my own personal desire to get better. So yes.
Oh, that's a great message. Um, the so do you think um that that losing weight's going to help you walk better?
Oh, it's it's not going to help me walk better. It's going to be less painful, because I think anytime a person is overweight, me being one of them, I'm not saying everybody else. I'm not there yet. Trust me, by no means. So the more weight your body has on it, the harder it has to work to do day-to-day things. That's a given. You could ask a 5-year-old, hey, who's going to be able to jump rope easier? This person that's 110 pounds or this person that's 400 pounds? The answer is obvious. What you put your body through, how you treat your body, what I'm learning now is so important on everything else. And not only that, it's also the mental aspect of looking at yourself in the mirror, which is what I visually saw myself when I was manifesting winning the first place position at the Toastmasters International Conference. Just looking at yourself and liking the overall image. And this isn't about what society has done. It's really just society will take you on a journey thinking you need to look like this, or you need to behave like this, or you need to act like this, or you need to dress like this. This is just a personal goal of mine that I've always had, because I've seen what I look like when I'm at the ideal weight. So I know once I hit it, it's going to be just, and that's another thing on my bucket list. And I'm also trying to work on manifesting that to be the ideal weight for me, no one else, just for me. And it's amazing for all these people that will spend money on having someone try to convince them that they need to go out and lose weight, that they need to do better. If you're not ready and you're not there mentally, it's not going to happen. Nothing happens until you personally decide this has to change. Thelma and Louise, the movie, Susan Sarandon, Gina Davis, there's one line in there that Gina Davis is complaining about her husband, and Susan Sarandon says this line, and to me it's meant everything. Well, you get what you settle for. There it is. I have settled to be this way because all I have to do is go to the gym an extra day, watch what I eat, stop eating the sugar, stop drinking the sodas. It's up to me. I have settled for this and I don't like it. So it's time to change. That's it. In a nutshell.
Okay. So you're the next phase of your manifestation is going to be, you're going to get your speaking tour with Toastmasters, right? Then,
Yes.
did you know that you can get ghostwriters to help you write your book?
I've never heard of that. First of all, I like the way you threw that in, like I'm already writing a book. Good for you. I guess now I'm adding something else to the list, which
But
would
we
be
talked about
writing
that.
a
We
book.
talked about this about a year and a half ago, right? You're
Yeah.
gonna get a
Yeah.
speaking tour. You're gonna win. You're
Book
gonna get the
tour.
speaking tour.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the write the book, and then they're gonna make a movie about your life,
Yeah.
right? Right.
Yeah. I remember you saying that, book and then movie. Right.
Right.
That's great. And you know what? Keep keep shooting these ideas at me because it's great, because I need to expand my narrow way of thinking and think, wow, this can be more than what I'm thinking of. So I'll start manifesting more things, more positive things. Yes, thank you for that. I've had a few people approach me or just mention, you really need to write a book. And my response was always, I wouldn't know where to start. And someone gave me excellent advice. They said, you don't have to start at the beginning. Whatever idea or story or incident that's happened to you, write it down, make it a chapter. Next, and then another incident comes up or comes to memory, write it down, make it a chapter, and next. And then not every book is a chronological order of someone's life. So if I can just take excerpts from my life, jot them down, and make it a book, and people want to read it, that's great, because I think every part of my life so far, I tell everybody, every day in my life is a speech. Every single day in my life is a speech. I can write a speech on every single day in my life. And it's, gosh, I just love that I have the ability to have that foresight to be able to see that. Just to take every day and make it a lesson. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, whenever I'd give a speech and you would be my evaluator, part of me would cringe, but I knew I was going to get good quality information, right? Good quality correction. You it's like, oh, here it comes, here it comes. And
you were there to get better, Ruben. You were there to get better, and that's what I was trying to get you to do.
Yeah,
that's all. That's all.
I can take it. I can take it. Long as you're not throwing punches at me or shooting at me, I can handle it. Right. Yeah. Well, listen, I am so grateful that you took the time. Like I said, your life is gonna change. It's gonna be, and I believe that you're gonna have an impact um, above and beyond what most people that have done what you've done have done. I mean, you see all over. If you look that up, you know, Toastmasters International Champions. There's all kinds of guys giving talks, and they have their own business teaching people how to speak. But I think you're gonna take it uh, beyond that. I think um, you've got so much more potential because of your experience. I mean, like we talked, you've got some serious business savvy you could unleash. People don't even realize it. I mean, I've been lucky enough. We've talked enough times. You've actually let me in on what you got going on up there, right? But yeah, golly, I'm so glad to know you. Um, the and you know, yeah, I just started encouraging you just because I was just being empathetic. I just, imagine what it would be like for me if I was in your situation. That's why I was calling you. and staying in touch with you,
Thank you.
you know.
Thank you. A lot of people did that, and I know that's what actually got me through the tough days, because there were tough days. But thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't help it. Like here, there's more dog grooming businesses here in Houston than I've ever could imagine. So if I go by them and I make you think of you, right? Or I'd be listening to Bill O'Reilly and on the Factor, and he always promotes Delta Rescue. That made me think of you, and or somebody, they're you just things like that would make me think of you, and that's why you know,
Thank you. Thank you for
every
that.
time I would, I'd be like in the middle of praise and worship, and I'd be thinking about you, and I'd like just text you, let you know, right? So all right, well, thank you again. Keep me up to date. Let me know what's going. When you come to Houston, let me know. They definitely Monday night 6:30. Sci-Fair Super Speakers. That's our club, right?
Okay. Sounds
They
good.
it's a good club. I picked them because they have a lot of people. They have a lot of attendees. It's a
Good.
very active club. So,
Okay. I'll do that.
all right. Yeah, let me know when you're coming to Houston again.
Thank you so much. I will.
All right. Thank you so much for taking the time. And this is awesome.
And thanks again for allowing me to be able to share my goals and dreams with you and with anyone that's listening, because that's how things get done. My new mantra is, with the right people, we can change the world.
All right. Well, have a great day.
Thank you. You too. We'll see you, Ruben.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.